Hi, I am Katina White. I'm the Director of Educational Programs for the Diversity Booth.
My name is Maya Blackman, and I am one of the team market owners for the Little Rock Lightning.
Hi, I'm Donald Wood. I'm the Executive Director at Just Communities of Arkansas.
I'm Marie Lindquist, Executive Director of the Arkansas Public Administration Consortium.
To describe the culture here, working with Diversity Booth, it is an environment of safe spaces. It's an environment of vulnerability, and it's also an environment of doing the internal work in order to do the work.
One of the words I would use to describe the Diversity Booth would be great, because they are just amazing.
I've been a part of the Diversity Booth as a partner and a consultant since early 2020. And if I could describe the Diversity Booth in 3 words, it would be truth requires healing. There's not a social justice or a diversity, equity, inclusion, or culture change organization that I've been a part of more that focuses on embracing individual and collective healing as a necessary part of addressing social justice issues.
What I've really liked about the way the Diversity Booth approaches this work is both pushing our participants to really learn and think about their own issues, but doing that in a kind and understanding way, so that although we are pushed to recognize these issues that we have, we don't turn off.
We can't just jump to the kind of institutional changes that definitely must take place, the policies, the procedural, the laws, the regulations, those type of things. We just can't jump to bringing people together into a space and interpersonally thinking that they are going to, just sheerly by communicating, are going to be able to build a relationship, an authentic relationship that can help lead to true systemic dismantling of oppression and discrimination.
The best part about working with or for the Diversity Booth is that I'm allowed to be my whole 360-degree self. As our CEO, Amber Booth McCoy, always states, you need to take up space. And in order to do that, you have to bring the full version of yourself.
What I've learned from the Diversity Booth is that you really have to start with healing and give people the space and the ability to heal at their own pace, heal in their own way. The power of that, and what I've seen, especially since George Floyd's murder, and all of the healing-based, trauma-informed activities that we have done, whether they've been explicitly involved around implicit bias and other types of traditional DEI and social justice work, or they've simply been just creating spaces for people to be together, process together, traumatic events like George Floyd's murder. That's something that the Diversity Booth does better than any organization that I've been a part of. And it's really hard for organizations, I think, to comprehend, to quote unquote put on paper the healing part of social justice work or DEI work. But the Diversity Booth is adamant that that's a critical part of doing the quote unquote work of DEI.
Even though we haven't been working with them long, one of the biggest things that they have taught us and put in us in this short amount of time is the importance of setting a culture for your team.
It's both confronting those problems that we ourselves bring to the table, but doing that in a way with such kindness and humor that we continue to be open to listening and learning and trying to create a better place. They bring up evidence that is in the literature, that is well researched, that makes everybody really think about what they themselves might be doing that are creating issues, but also what policies and procedures exist in their workplaces that might create issues.
I can't do the work without doing the internal work myself. So what are my biases? What are things that I haven't recognized in myself? Do I have internal things going on that I apply to other groups of people? Or not even that. Or do I take external things and apply them internally against myself?
Through setting that culture, it increases their retention, it increases their, the family aspect of them wanting to stay with the light, and that's what we want. We're a big family. So I'm thankful to the diversity booth for them teaching us this. They have already impacted our organization in a tremendous way.
The most important part in our trainings, however, is really pushing everyone that participates to think about how we create these issues through the policies and procedures that we set up at our organizations, and what we can do about that, how we can create a plan to make change around those issues and create a place that addresses it, welcome their voices into decision making, and create a diverse, equitable, and inclusive workplace that welcomes everyone.
The other things that I've taken away from the diversity booth, especially from its leader, Amber Booth McCoy, is also the fact that every relationship with one of their clients or partners has to be customized or intentional. There is no such thing as a cookie cutter program or project or checkbox diversity type activity that's going to work for every organization or every individual. And so I really love about the diversity booth the fact that they take so much time to get to know the organization and really truly understand from the voices of the people that make up the organization, not just from the leadership or not just from one particular person, but from the voices that make up that organization, what it is that they need in terms to address social justice or diversity, equity, and inclusion issues.
Language is a labor of love. And we're very intentional in the language that we use to describe oppression, to describe excluded groups of people, to describe the work that we do. We're very intentional about the language that we use in our discussions, in our personal lives. So that means so much because we're intentional about our language, and it matters because I can't do the work without doing the internal work as well.